Okay, so like I said this morning, I'm sharing with you some information on some products called the Activated Essentials. This is our specialty bundle here in Australia. It is a bundle that can be purchased across the world as well, including some other incredible products. I will be focusing on these 3 key products today. However, if you'd like more information on the other products, there will be other information sessions throughout this 2 days, and you're welcome to join in with us on those sessions, or reach out to the person who invited you and they can also get you some more information. So firstly, a little about myself and how I became involved with this company. So my background is actually education. I taught for years and then went into the role of school principal, which I did for quite a few years before I took maternity leave to have my children. And for me, being home with my children was my priority. My husband works away in the mines doing a 7-on, 7-off roster. So for me, being home with my children was important. I didn't want to be relying on long hours at daycare, which is what they were facing if I were to go back to work. In saying all of that, I was not looking for anything else to do. I was very happy to be the stay-at-home mum. We lived comfortably and, weren't necessarily in need. But a really close girlfriend of mine reached out to share the information on our products with me because she knew my family history. And in short, we have heart conditions on my mum's side. I've lost members with heart concerns, including my sister when she was only 21 after open heart surgery. And then a few years ago, I also lost my dad to cancer. And we had no warning with that whatsoever. He was a very young man at 58 and far too young to leave this world. There was no warning. It all happened very quickly. And I guess for us, considering we are a family that has always been quite proactive with health, this came as a real shock. And, we knew that we've always known that today's world is not what it used to be. And we just needed those added measures to be looking after ourselves. So when my girlfriend reached out, she shared some information with some products. And as a family, we've never been ones to really take supplements because we know that unless your body actually needs that specifically, quite honestly, it just goes straight through the system and you have quite expensive urine, to say it in brief. But so I was sort of like, oh yeah, okay. But then she's like, Jill, it's not supplementing. And that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. These products are not supplementing the body. These products are actually doing something very unique in the way of activation. And it's turning on your good genes, which is exactly what we need to stay well in today's world. So when I got stuck into the science, I found that there was a lot of research, more than I have ever seen on any other product out there, ever. And I knew that she had been getting some wonderful results, incredible results. Having known her for a long time, I could see how well she was. I could see how it was impacting her family. And so I immediately was thinking of my mum and my sisters and how this could benefit them as well. And so I just started naturally sharing with a few people. It was those few people that had incredible results themselves that then wanted to share with others. And isn't that the truth? Isn't that what we all do? When we find something we like, we naturally want to tell others about it as well. And so for me, the business started growing naturally. And like I said, I wasn't looking for that business, but it came naturally. And it's now something that keeps me home with my children full time. I've been with the company 4.5 years. It has not always been, I guess easy. Like I've had to put in some effort as well once I realized the power of it. But I'm grateful that I did that because I have seen so many lives blessed with what we have. So let's have a little look at what we all already know. And that is the fact that our bodies are being hijacked every single day, whether it be physically, emotionally, biochemically, work, stress, life, the foods and waters that we eat are not pure. There's so many additives or, depletion of nutrients within soils. Our environment, even if we live completely off grid, we can't help but be impacted by the things that go on around us. Our personal lives, all of that has a great impact. The power of the mind and, stress. We're in a digital technology world where we're just bombarded by billions of bits of information every single day. And our bodies are just not designed to cope with this. Did you know that 85,000 chemicals have been introduced to our environment since the Industrial Revolution? That is a significant number. And when they have tested the umbilical cords of brand new babies, they have found in excess of 200 different chemicals within the umbilical cord. So before you are even born, you are being impacted by what's going on in our world. It's pretty scary stuff. So we can do our best to eliminate these, but for the most part, this simply is just life in the 21st century, and it's all dimming our lights. So what does this feel like for you? You know, it can be things like decreased immunity, brain fog, sluggishness, bad mood or lack of motivation. Oh, I think we've all struggled with that one at some time, haven't we? Increased stress, yes, you know, there's so much going on. Fatigue. It's just, you know, this is just a short list, a partial list of things that, you know, our bodies telling us that they're not coping with what's happening. What is really happening in our bodies though, when our lights are being dimmed? Well, it's actually high levels of oxidative stress. There's mitochondrial decline, poor gut health. You know, we hear a lot of information about that. And there's so many more things. So some of these terms might be new for you, and I'll explain them as we go along. But if you watch the ABC report last night that was shared in our group, and I highly recommend you do that. I know it is older, but wow, how seriously do we need to consider oxidative stress? So we'll be sharing more as we go. So science has already discovered that our genes contain incredible abilities to keep our bodies healthy. We already knew this, didn't we? When we're children, we bounce back. When we cut ourselves, it heals quickly. If we break a bone, it mends within a few weeks, you know. But what we also know is that doesn't last. Our bodies don't bounce back as quickly as we get older. So if you could leverage those genes within our bodies, you know, those genes that we had as children, with a flip of a switch, would you do it? I think that's, you know, a pretty obvious answer. Would you do it? Tell me in the comments. Would you flip that switch if you had that opportunity to do so? So let's talk about supplementation versus activation. We have known supplementing for about 6 decades now. It's like the old flip phone. We take high doses of antioxidants and other forms of things that our body may need, and then the body tries to absorb what it can from that, what it can possibly process within the cells, and then the rest is excreted. There are a lot of possible harmful long-term effects from doing so, including preventing our body from producing its own antioxidants. There's a dependency factor there. But when it comes to activation, this is like the latest smartphone, the most advanced technology. This is the body doing what it's naturally meant to do, 100% natural, activating the cells so that they are then producing its own antioxidants, boosting its own mitochondria. So it's doing what it's naturally meant to do, which means no harmful effects. So take a look at this apple and just see what happens to it over time. This is what oxidative stress is like in our cells. Our cells may not be browning like the apple is, but they are not functioning to their optimal performance. They are aging. They are being bombarded by what we call free radicals. It's the body's natural defense to produce its own antioxidants. But as we said, this is a process that slows down as we get older and, you know, as we're bombarded with more of the environmental factors. So like I said, we do have a switch that turns that on. That's called an NRF2 pathway. And we can do so with the synergy of 5 herbs that work together in a precise formula to activate that pathway. So this is not supplementing the body, this is activation. Scientists, as you would have seen in that ABC report last night, scientists made an incredible discovery that when they put 5 precise herbs into a formula and put it together in a precise way, it turned on this NRF2 protein messenger in every cell in our body, which tells our cells to then go on and produce its own antioxidants. It's our genes doing what they're naturally meant to do, the process that slows down as we get older. So by doing so, we are lowering oxidative stress by an average of 40% in 30 days, as shown in a US study. This is flipping the switch, far more powerful, far more effective. And this is what's happening. So we might not necessarily be aging backwards, we're not getting younger, but our cells are able to do what they're meant to do to stay healthy and protect themselves. It's get rid of the body of all of those toxins that get built up and switching on those good genes again. And we're not the only ones that think this is pretty special. When NRF2 was discovered, a lot of research was poured into this. It is a recent discovery. And Washington State University said it is likely to be the most important health promoting approach in the foreseeable future. NRF2 may become the most extraordinary breakthrough in the history of health. That is incredible that they have gone on to do that. And since then, there are 14,000 other peer-reviewed studies on NRF2 alone, which show the effectiveness of it. So let's look at how that works and what our studies show. So we know that as we get older, our oxidative stress increases and our ability to produce those antioxidants decline, and that's shown in the graph. So from ages 40 onwards, like it's significant drops, and to the age of 80, almost nothing. But as you would have heard in that ABC report, just by taking one NRF2 tablet a day, after 30 days, they could not tell the difference between an 80-year-old's blood and a 20-year-old's blood. It had reduced oxidative stress so significantly that they couldn't tell the difference between the two. Absolutely incredible with the flick of a switch. So from that new ABC report that aired, lots of universities reached out, purchased the product from the company, went on to fund their own studies. And you can see them popping up here on the screen as we speak. We now have 26 peer-reviewed studies on Protandim NRF2 on this website, pubmed.gov, all highly positive studies that show the incredible benefits. One of my favorites is by the American Heart Association, which shows how therapeutic it is for the heart. They actually featured it in their circulation journal, which goes worldwide. And you can only imagine why that one's so special. And I've seen so many wonderful results from people who have used this. They've done their research, they've had a look, they realize that, yes, I need to flip that switch. So next, our company went on to look at other switches in the body, including our mitochondrial health. So mitochondria is the engine of the cells. It's where our cells manufacture so much of and send out all those important messages to the cell so that it's functioning optimally. However, over time, again, with environmental factors, that mitochondrial production and protection declines. It's like draining our batteries, our energy slumps. ATP is produced through mitochondria, so that's our energy powerhouses. So again, that switch in the body is called NRF1. It's the protein messenger which produces that mitochondria. And with a synergy of herbs mixed together, we can flip that switch back on so that it's increasing our mitochondrial production by nearly 70%. Incredible. And those two can be bought together as a dual synergizer at a discounted rate. But let's have a look what happens when we flip that switch. We are recharging our batteries. Our mitochondria is producing the way it's meant to. It's getting the right messages to the rest of our cells. Like I said, it's the powerhouse. It's the master factory in our cells. So having healthy mitochondria is absolutely critical for our overall health. So moving on to our all-important gut health, because Hippocrates said all those years ago that all disease begins in the gut. It is our second brain, as we also know it. There's that gut-brain axis that works back to back. So for a happy, healthy mind, we need a happy, healthy stomach. And you'll notice some posts that will go into the group, and we have an incredible gut health talk coming at you. It's on the schedule. We've got the beautiful Bridget Bright, who has incredible information. She'll be sharing more on it throughout our weekend. So be sure to tune into that one, because gut health is important. So what sets our probiotic apart from others? Because let's face it, doctors will tell you that we should all be on some form of probiotic. There are so many out there that it can be a little bit bamboozling, but with ours, what sets it apart is not only does it have the highest quality strains of probiotic in it, It also features a DR capsule, which protects that good bacteria. It takes 52 minutes before that capsule begins dissolving, as opposed to most vegan capsules, which are only 7 minutes. So it's getting through the stomach acid down into our small and large intestines where we actually need it. So it's extremely powerful just through that alone. But not only that, it includes a special beta glucan, which is a clinically proven ingredient to enhance that digestive system. Jump on, have a little search about that one. It's very powerful. And also it is all wrapped up in a desiccant bottle, which means it does not require refrigeration, which is a huge positive. I mean, for me in the past, when I've bought probiotics, I have stuck them in the fridge and completely forgotten about them. You know, out of sight, out of mind. However, with this one, I can either put it beside my bed, so I remember to take it, you know, either first thing in the morning or straight last thing at night time. You can take it with our other two products all together in one hit. It's very powerful. And, you know, it's one that you can take with you when you travel, so that you aren't going to you know, be without, because we know some people, they notice the difference just from missing one day. So when you travel, you can take it with you. So are you ready to flip the switch? Let me know in the comments. Are you ready to flip that switch? Let's talk about supporting positive mood and motivation. You know, who doesn't want that? Supporting our healthy longevity, improving our mental focus and clarity and concentration, boosting our mental and physical energy, supporting our health and inflammatory responses, and supporting our healthy vascular system. This is just to name a few. So throughout the weekend, we are sharing lots of incredible positive stories into this group. They're all brand new stories, which we have just collected over the last couple of weeks. If you would like to see hundreds of other stories, please feel free to reach out to the person who invited you to this event, and we can add you into our private community, which shares a lot of customer experiences as well. And you can sift through it and see how this has impacted so many lives. So like I said, this is our activated essentials. These prices have been in Australian dollars. If you'd like to see the prices for your other countries, again, reach out to the person who invited you. But in this activated essentials, you get your Protandim NRF2 to combat those free radicals. Get rid of the rubbish in our bodies, that detox system, increase those antioxidants naturally. Our Protandim, which is enhancing our energy levels, boosting that mitochondria, that engine of our cells, and our all-important probiotic, our probiotic for improved optimal digestion. So in Australia, we have free shipping on that trio as well. It's $190, which is like a cup of coffee a day. So, you know, this is really priorities. You know, what's important to you, and, you know, is health definitely at the top of that list, because I know it's at the top of mind when it comes to myself and my family, because I'm all about quality of life. That's what's important to me, and I want to see everyone I know benefit from a quality of life. So let's flip that switch, and thank you so much for joining me this morning. Please pop any questions you might have into the comments below. Thanks again, everyone, and have a great weekend.